Everybody. My name is Karthik Sijit. I'm studying in 11th grade at Faith CPS Kuwait. My chosen stream is Commerce plus Pure Math. I'm currently an intern here. And first of all, I would like to thank Sunil Tripathi for all his efforts in the past five session from 22nd of December to 27th. We learned a lot about the fundamentals as well as the technicals of stocks. And although some of the topics were complex and not easy to understand, I would say his sessions and his way of teaching has helped us a lot, and it has made it very easy for us to understand it. Now, here I would like to first of all summarize these past five sessions starting from 22nd to 27th so far. First of all, in the 20 from the 22nd to 24th December, we had a total of three sessions in which we learned about the fundamentals about stock market. Now, fundamentals is basically how we decide on which companies do we invest, which are the good companies for us to invest. Then we learn about the technicals, which talks about how what are the entry points in terms of price, to decide where when and where do we invest. So in the 22nd session, we learn more about the market cap, how market cap is important, how to differentiate companies depending upon their market cap, then different parameters such as ROC, ROE, and what is debt, what is equity capital, and how important promoters holding is, etc. Then we move on to the 23rd session where we learned all about valuation, how valuation is important, and what exactly does valuation say. Valuation tells you what is the value of that particular share right now and what is it going to be in the future. Then we learned that there are two types of valuation. Number one is absolute valuation. The other one is relative valuation. So absolute valuation is a very complex topic, and we did not go much into it. But when we look at relative valuation, we learned about how we can relatively value a company depending upon the past results of it, and also the results of the other companies in that particular industry. We also learn about different growth parameters which we have to look into when we are valuing a company, such as sales, EPS, cash flow, and we also learn about some ratios, important ratios which we can look into, such as PB ratio and PE ratio. PB ratio is price to book value. P ratio is price to earnings. Then we learned about how we can differentiate companies depending on their P and P ratio, PB ratio, how it is important for us to analyze them to decide whether to invest in that particular company. Then on to the 24th of December, our third session, which we learned about the different terminologies regarding the stock market, some important terminology. So we learned about the two indexes and two exchanges, stock exchanges in India, that is NSE and BSE, and their indexes for them. For NSE, we have the index Nifty, and for BSE, we have the index Senex. Then we learned about different things, different terminologies, such as top line, bottom line. Top line is basically sales. Bottom line is profit. Then we learned about capital gain. What are the types of capital gain? Long-term capital gain, short-term capital gain, business gain, etc. And then about margin, how it is sort of like a loan which you take from the brokers. Then dividend, it is basically when a company that you've invested in makes profit, the amount you get from that profit is basically called as dividend, the amount the company gives. Then we learned about IPO, and we also learned about the types of market, that is the bullish market, then the bearish market. Bullish market is the market which is going up, whereas bearish market is a market which is going down. Then we learned about two important things to understand your performance in the market, which is beta and alpha. Beta is basically with respect to the market, what is the behavior of your share. Then alpha is basically with respect to the market, how much extra have you earned, or how much extra have you lost. Then we looked into the portfolio and how diversification is important in the portfolio. Then we also learned two important things, that is bonus as well as split, which were two complex topics, but with Mr. Sunil Tripathi's simple teaching, we were able to understand it really easily. Then coming on to the 26th session, which is where we started on the technicals. Now, technicals are, in my opinion, definitely a more complex complex topic as we compare it to fundamentals, and definitely it took a bit of time to understand it. But I think Dr. Sunil Tripaঠি's teaching again, we were able to understand it really, really easily. It was definitely a complex topic, but I think he explained it in such a way where it was really simple for us to understand. So in technicals, we learned about candlesticks, how the candlestick patterns help us to understand the movement of price. Then we also learned about what the body of the candle shows, what the wick of the candle shows, different types of candles such as doji candle, hanging man, hammer, and how what is the significance of lower wick and higher wick. Then we learn about bearish engulfing, which is when a green candle is completely covered by a red candle. Then a bullish engulfing, which is where a red candle is completely covered by a green candle. Then how candlestick form different formations, just boxing formation. Then if the opening, low, high, and close of a candle is higher than the previous candle, and if that is true for three consecutive candle, it forms something called as the three white soldier formation. Then on the 27th session, we learned about indicators. Now, indicators is again, it is something which helps us to understand the price movement better and predict future trends in the market. The main indicator we learned about is DMA, which is daily moving average. It is basically when you take the average of the past 5 days, if you were considering 5 DMA, and dividing it by 5 and comparing it to the price. Right, and we learned about the different types of DMA, 5 DMA, 20 DMA, 50 DMA, and 200 DMA. We also learned about the different types of traders and how different types of DMA are used by different types of traders. Different type of traders can be intra traders who they sell and buy within the day. Then short-term traders buying and selling within 15 to 20 days. Medium-term traders are buying and selling within 45 to 60 days. They usually use something called as 50 DMA. Then we have long-term traders buying and selling within a year or more than that. They use something called as 200 DMA. Then we learn about the two different theories, that is the growth theory as well as the value theory. Growth theory is followed by growth investors, and value theory is followed by value investors. So something about the growth theory we can say is that it says that if you're a growth investor, then you look into the price being above the DMA and you try to invest. Then you have the value theory where which says that if the price is below DMA, then is the time to enter and invest. Then we learn about what crossover trader is, etc. All this we were able to understand really clearly by the teachings of Mr. Sunil Tripathi. He also used the app called as TradingView, which really helped us. And then just a few things about equity cult. First of all, I have been trying to spread this message by Facebook and other apps such as Twitter. I've been creating accounts over there and spreading the message of equity cult. I think it is really important for citizens of India to invest in the stock market, because if you look into it, we have a bigger population than the US. But if you look into US, I think around 90-80% of the population there invest in the stock market. But if you look at India, although we have a bigger population than the US, we invest, I think only 1 or 2% of our population invest in the stock market. And I think that is, if we convince people to invest in the stock market, it can really boost our economy. And hence, I feel it is really important to spread the message of equity cult. And therefore, I will try my best to definitely spread it through different social media platforms. Thank you, everybody. Have a nice day.